Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to 31 Days of Cutfiles with NK and Janet. It is also Messy Monday, which means we are playing with mixed media, and our choice for the month was watercolor. And then it's also Mix It Up Monday, which is hosted by Tara over at the Paper Snob. And this is the layout that we are supposed to be lifting and doing some mixed media with. And that layout, or that, not layout, but the sketch is created by Lisa Cunha over at my scrapbook table. You can go and check out her channel as well. And links for everyone who is playing along with Mix It Up Monday. There's a playlist down below, as well as some Instagram links, so you can go and check out everyone who is using Lisa's sketch today and get more inspiration and see if that's something that you're maybe interested in trying out. So I have two pieces of white washed wood or white wood grain paper that I am using for this particular layout. I did put a clear coat of gesso down because I'm going to be doing some watercolor right on top, and that paper is super thin. It's like the really cheap paper from, I don't know, Joann's or Michael's. It's been in my stash for a long time, so I believe it is actually from Joann's because I didn't really tend to buy a lot of open stock paper at Michael's. So just have this one because it's a wood grain, and I thought it was really pretty. So I'm using that. You could see when I was putting the gesso on that it buckles quite a bit and warps quite a bit, and that is why it is taped down to a piece of white foam board with some red tape, which is very much like blue tape. It just happens to be red. And so I leave it taped down if it's something that I know is going to warp really badly, or something that is going to that I want to lay as flat as possible. I leave it taped down until it's completely dry. So sometimes that's overnight, sometimes it's a couple hours. It just depends on what the application is and the heat in the and the humidity in the room. So now that I've got my gesso on there and it is completely dry, I am going to do another layer, but I'm using some Shimmerz paints, which are watercolor pots. You just add water to these little pots, and you can apply them however you want with a paintbrush. You can apply them with using the packaging technique, which is what I'm doing here. And it's not a technique I use super frequently. You have some control over it, but not a ton of control over what the outcome is. So you have to kind of be okay with that. Basically, you just put the watercolor onto a piece of packaging or anything like that. You can even use your acrylic block, and then you smoosh it down. So some people might call it the smooshing technique or packaging technique. So I am just trying to get a little bit of pink on this paper because the photos, my niece's little girl is wearing a jacket that is kind of gray and pink, and so I want to bring in some of the pink. I'm also going to be watercoloring the snowflakes, which is the cut file for today. I am going to be using some Frosty's Buns for the snowflakes and this splatter that I'm applying right now. And then the other two colors were, I believe, Strawberry Fields and I don't know, I just held it up. I'll go back and look, and I'll put a link down below for you in case, or a list down below for the Shimmerz products that I'm using today. This one is Frosty's Buns, which is kind of a bluish silver, and it kind of has a really cold feel to it, so that's why I'm using it for my snowflakes. And then I'm also using some Moon Dust Stickles glitter gel through a stencil. This stencil is from Sandy over at Scrapping Reflections, and I did brush a little bit on to my snowflakes as well to give them a shiny, sparkly feel, kind of like snowflakes glistening in the in nature. And then as you saw, this is a double page, so I'm kind of doing everything twice. You're getting to see it all done twice. And I'm liking how this is looking. I think it looks really pretty. And I'm just going to give it some time to dry once again, because this is, again, the third layer of mixed media, or liquid wet application, if you will, to this paper. And like I said, it's super thin. So I'm going to set that aside, let it dry overnight. Meanwhile, I'm pulling out some mink foil, and I have used a little bit of tape runner all the way around the outside of this photo mat, And then I'm just putting my mink foil right down on top and burnishing it with my finger, giving it a little bit of pressure and rubbing on it basically to have the foil stick to it. And when you peel the foil off, it leaves the foil behind. Yeah, basically. So I did that around all of the photos, and I'm okay that it's not all the way to the edge of the photos because I'm also using my edge distress tool from MK's shop to rough up the edges of those photos. So I kind of just wanted that silver peeking out to kind of give more of that cool effect. But, you know, depending on how the light hits it, sometimes it looks like just like it's a dark gray, which is, I believe it is actually called gunmetal. Or you can, you know, I could use whatever color, but this was the one that I felt matched the best and made the photos pop. I thought rose gold would look really pretty too, but the rose gold that I have just leans a little bit too much towards the orange for what I was going for, especially since I've already got the pink on the background. So now I'm just using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. I'm adhering down those snowflakes. I thought about using these little banner pieces from MK's shop, but they're not going to make the cut. But I did want to show you here that I am adding more foil to the edge, the bottom edge and the top edge of my paper. And most of that is because these two edges, you could definitely see where the gesso line was from where the tape was. Another good option would be to trim a little bit around the edge of your paper and then back it with another paper so it has a border so that you're kind of cutting off that edge. But you could definitely see that line of where the gesso ran right up to the red tape that I had to tape down the layout. So the nice thing about the foil, as you can see here, I don't have a ton of foil or the ton of like the silver part left on this plastic backer of the foil, but you can just keep rubbing over it and picking up all the little tiny bits and pieces, and it looks like it's all one contiguous piece. I really like that. I especially like it over using the foil flakes. I know MK really likes using the foil flakes. I've tried it. I have a little bit of it. It's super messy and it's just not my cup of tea. So I'll probably use those, but sparingly. I prefer this technique over that technique. And it's, you know, it works just as well. So that's the goal here. You could also use probably some of the Brutus Monroe foil reactive media. I don't know exactly what it's called, but they have a foil reactive stuff that's sticky, or another type of tape runner would work as well. It didn't have to be an ATG. So anything that you can that has a stickiness to it, basically. So I'm liking how this is looking, and I'm just going over any spots that I feel like are a little bit sticky still, where the foil didn't grab great, and just making sure that it's got a good coating on there, because I don't want it to stick to the inside of my page protector either. So I think that looks really good. I'm going to leave it at that. And then I am using some pieces from the 49 and Market. I believe this is Serenity. It's kind of a mix of Serenity and Moonlit Garden pieces that I am using to create some clusters and layers behind my photos. I'm liking how that's looking. I am going to ink everything up with a little bit of Black Soot Distress ink, and that's going to give it just a little bit of a pop. So, you know, you can definitely see the layers a little bit better when you ink up the edges. Also kind of makes it feel like there's a little bit of a shadow effect, which I like, which again kind of fools your eye into seeing all the different layers, but it feels like it's a shadow, basically. Okay, once I get all of that done, I think that's going to take me just a few minutes here. Once I get all of that done, I will be adding some more wood veneer and some sequins. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a moment. But in the meantime, while I am gluing down or getting all of my pieces situated here, trying to create a little bit of balance between the right and the left pages, I wanted to remind you that there are a bunch of people playing along with Mix It Up Monday. Again, the playlist for that is down below. But we also have some people playing along with 31 Days of Cutfiles, and there is a playlist link for that as well down below. People are not necessarily playing along every single day, but you'll find the links that they have uploaded in the playlist below. You can also get any of the past videos for this month in that playlist, and there is also a direct link to MK's channel down below in case you want to just pop over and see what she's doing on her channel using today's same cut file, which is the beautiful snowflakes that she designed. So the cool thing is you get the inside and the outside of the snowflakes. So you really get more than what you think you're getting because of that. You just pop the two apart and then spread them out like I have done here. And I think it's going to look like a really cool wintry layout when it's all said and done. I am using my acrylic block kind of as my third hand to hold everything in place while my glue sets up. I do feel like it's kind of important to use a liquid glue over mixed media, because otherwise the tape runner does not like to stay. It kind of just pops off of the mixed media, especially the glitter gel that I used from Stickles. It really just does not stick very well to that at all. So liquid glue is where it's at. I prefer the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, but pretty much any liquid glue would probably work. And I'm liking how it's coming together so far. I'm not leaving a huge area for journaling. There will be a little bit of, on these layers, my niece can do a little bit of journaling. This is her with her middle child, and then they're playing in the snow. I believe this is probably at their house. I'm trying to see in the pictures. I actually didn't really look that closely because my mom just sent these to me and was like, can you do these ones? And I was like, sure. So I believe it's at their house, if I could tell by the photos there. But they're just playing in the snow. There's a little snowman that they've built. There is, on the right-hand page, the person in the darker jacket. That's the older of her three kids. And then the two girls are on the little sleddy thing in the far right hand photo. So I apologize you don't get to see their faces, but for privacy purposes and protection, I cover all the faces of people that are not necessarily me or my husband, or people who have not expressly said yes, go ahead and use my photo in your video. So I apologize for that, but you do get a good idea on how to do a wintry layout using these cut files, or even any snowflake type of cut file or wintry type of cut file. It's been really fun finding a way to mix a warm color with a cool color and have it still feel wintry. Now I have pulled out the wood veneer pieces that you see here. The title that I've got there was from one of the monthly embellishment boxes that MK did, so you're not going to be able to find that anymore. But I am showing you that all of these pieces have a masking over the top, and if you peel off the masking where you want to color it, you can easily go over it with something like a watercolor, which is what I've done here. You can use acrylic paint or paint pens, all kinds of different things, and then let it dry and pull off the rest of the masking so that you still have that wood grain feel to it, or the wood grain look to it. And then the snowflakes are, I believe, available in her shop, so I'll put a link for that down below as well. They are adhesive backed, so you just pull the backer off and the masking off of the top and stick them down onto your page. You can alter them if you want, but you don't have to, as I have not done here. And I think they add a really nice texture and a really natural look to it. So I love it, and I just love using the wood veneer. And since it's only a 1/16 of an inch thick, it's not adding a lot of bulk to the layouts. Now I am also adding some sequins to kind of finish everything off. I've pulled out a couple of different packs from Spiegel Mom Scraps, which she no longer does the sequin packs, but I've got tons of them. So I am going to go ahead and keep using them. But I've added some pink ones and iridescent ones to create even more texture and color to it. And I love how it comes out, and I hope that you do too. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this one. If you have questions or comments, you can leave them down below. And I will be back again tomorrow with another whether or not type of layout using something that is weather related, although it may not be used for a weather layout. So be sure to come back and check that out. I will see you guys again tomorrow with another one. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.